Alright, so in this lab simulation with the Microsoft Azure Fundamentals, we're going to create a virtual machine with PowerShell. So let's jump into this. Alright, so in this walkthrough, we will configure the Cloud Shell using Azure PowerShell module to create a resource group and a virtual machine, and review Azure advisory recommendations. So let's sign in to our Azure portal as always. There we go. And let's get our information here. All right, next we are going to open up the Azure Cloud Shell by clicking the icon on the top right of the Azure portal, which is right here, the Cloud Shell. Okay, now when prompted to select either Bash or PowerShell, we're going to select PowerShell. And then on the You Have No Storage Mounted screen, we are going to select Show Advanced Settings, and then we're going to fill in the information here that they provide us. So we're going to keep this as is. We're going to create a new storage account, and it's going to be this right here, but really it could be anything that is globally unique, and we can get away with it. So let's go with that 42069, what happened. And then the file share is going to be shell storage. And then we're going to create storage. And then once this is done creating, we're going to create a resource group and virtual machine. And we will use the PowerShell to create a resource group and virtual machine. So just give it some time. I know there's a lot of money to be made when it comes to getting into this field of work, cloud engineering, and having your game in the cloud. But man, I am an on-prem guy. I just like stuff on-premise. I'll follow the 3-2-1 backup rule. I'll keep my backups at least once off-site in cold storage, but I don't know. Maybe AWS will be a lot better, but Azure is a little bit. I don't know. I'm more of a person who likes to work with like Photoshop and like Microsoft PowerPoint and that kind of stuff. This kind of stuff it just doesn't grasp me as much. But anyways, let's continue. So our PowerShell is up. We're going to make sure that it's set to PowerShell here, because we do have PowerShell and Bash, but we want it set to PowerShell. Next, we're going to verify the new resource group by running the following command in the PowerShell window. So that's another thing that gets to me, like commands. Like, I'm not a robot, dude. I don't know how people could just do this all day with commands and stuff. Here, hold on, I messed up this command. We just need it from there. So here we can see that there is a succeeded provisioning state, which is good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a virtual machine by pasting the following command into the terminal window. And this is where your programmers come in with their like overstack and their GitHubs, because like, come on, nobody's going to be sitting here typing this all day. Ready? Look at that. This is all copy and paste type of stuff. So that's cool. I mean, once you get the hang of just like copying and pasting stuff, it's almost like playing a video game and entering the cheat codes. Just being really good at entering cheat codes. So here they're going to give us a prompt to enter username, which we will do, and then a password. All right. And here at the bottom, you can see that it is creating the Azure resources. So this might take a minute or two. And yeah, like for the job that I work with, I do use the PowerShell and like the command line interface if I want to look up some basic networking information, but I don't really get too deep into it where like I'd be using super commands like this to create virtual machines. And like I said, if I was to be doing this, I would most definitely be getting some sort of copy and paste information off the internet, because I'm not going to sit there on my keyboard and just like be like Hacker Man typing away like I'm a robot. So all right, now in the Azure portal, we're going to search for virtual machines and verify that my VMPS is running. This may take a few minutes. Okay, so let's go to virtual machines here. And there it is, my VMPS, my virtual machine PowerShell. We're going to access the new virtual machine and review the overview and networking settings to verify information was correctly deployed. Sure thing. So here we are on the overview status right here. We can see our public IP addresses, virtual networking, subnets. Everything's looking good. Status is running. Everything's looking good to me. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to execute commands in the Cloud Shell. So in this task, we will practice executing PowerShell commands from the Cloud Shell. Okay, so from the Azure portal, we're going to open Azure Cloud Shell. We already got it open. So let's just give it a, let's just close it, because we are moving on to the next step here. All right, we can see that PowerShell selected in the upper left drop-down menu from the Cloud Pan. We're going to retrieve information about our virtual machine, including the name, resource group, location, and status. Notice the power state is running. So we are going to enter this command. I'm going to press enter, and we can notice that it says VM running under power state. Pretty cool. You can see the location, which is East US. Name is my VMPS. Resource group, my RGPS. OS type, Windows. Yeah, everything looks correct. So now we're going to stop the virtual machine using the following command. Okay, so we are going to use that command right there. We're going to stop the virtual machine. It's going to ask us, this commandlet will stop the specific virtual machine. Do you want to continue? Y is yes, N is no, S is suspend. We are going to hit Y. And this is going to take about a minute or so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to recheck the power state of our virtual machine, and then we're going to see that it says it's deallocated rather than it's running. Okay, so the status was succeeded. Now we're going to use this command. Oh, hold on. I messed up here again. Let me just erase everything and then start all over. Okay. So we're going to use that command. That's all we need. And now we can see that the power state is deallocated. So yeah. I guess we could have maybe connected to the virtual machine as well, and then did the command to stop the virtual machine. I think we would have seen ourselves get kicked out of our own virtual machine. But that's okay. In the Cloud Shell here, we're seeing everything happening. It went from running before to deallocated. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to review Azure Advisor recommendations. So in this task, we will review Azure Advisor recommendations for our virtual machine. We're pretty much done with creating the virtual machine within PowerShell. Now we're just going to kind of take a look at what the Azure portal has to offer us. So we're going to go to All Services tab here. And then we are going to select Advisor. We're going to search for it here in the search bar. Click it. We'll go to the overview. And we can notice that recommendations are grouped by reliability. We have performance down here. We have cost right here. We have security. So yeah. We can select all recommendations. And then on the all recommendations, it says you are following all of our recommendations for the selected subscriptions and resources, which was pretty much all of these right here. We can see a list of all recommendations. It's going to bring us to learn.microsoft.com, and this whole page is just a bunch of fun reading for if you need to know all this stuff. Let's see. You can also see that we have a download as a CVS or download as a PDF. See what happens if we download as a PDF. And we can also create alerts here. So let's check out our PDF file here. Oh, sweet. That's a sweet page right there. Microsoft Azure Advisor Recommendations Report. We could not find any recommendations for the selected subscriptions. So I'd have to select my subscription here. Let's see. Subscriptions all. Oh, I guess I'd have to dive deeper and actually get a subscription of something. But yeah, there is downloadable content here for all your recommendations. You can create alerts. Make sure everything is following the parameters of your subscription. And that's about it. Yeah. So we did shut down our virtual machine, but we didn't delete it. We still have it. It's right there. The state, as you can see, is stopped. It's deallocated because we stopped it. And yeah, I guess if we wanted to run it again, we could just kind of download the RDP file, kind of boot it up through the GUI. But that's pretty much it. We configured Cloud Shell. We created a virtual machine using PowerShell, and we practiced with PowerShell commands and viewed advisory recommendations. And lastly, we could just go to our resources page here, and just like in every video, we delete everything to avoid sprawls on our network of everything that we're doing, whether it's a test, whether it's a new virtual machine, whether it's our 15th virtual machine. We don't need that. We want to avoid sprawls. So make sure to keep a clean environment in your Azure portal here. And that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching.